So hello, this is the making of voltmeter. So it will measure the volts we have, what volt we have here in Arduino. As usual, we have our 5 volts inside our microcontroller Arduino Uno. So I'll show you parts. We have our LCD, the liquid crystal display. We have our breadboard, our potentiometer. We have our jumper wires. We have our Arduino board. So as you can see here, we have our ground, which is connected to the ground, so the negative side of the breadboard, and that is all connected to the ground. We have our VCC, which is the 5 volts connected to the Arduino board. And we have our SDA, which is connected to the analog pin A4. And we have our SCL, which is connected to the analog A5. And for that, we have our potentiometer here, which is connected in the first side of the potentiometer, connected to the positive. And we have our right side, which is connected to the negative. And we have our center side of the potentiometer, it's connected to the A0 of the analog pin, which is connected to the LCD. So how it works, so let's try showing you here. You connect the neck, connection. So DC DG voltmeter. So we have voltage in 0 as we turn the potentiometer to go to the maximum of 5.48 volts as stated here. Arduino Uno 5 volts. So you can also adjust it to how many voltage you want. So you turn the potentiometer 0, turn to increase to the maximum of 5.48 or 5.49. So that's how it works, and I will show you the code. So hello, this is the making a voltmeter. So this is the code we have here. We have our libraries, we have our wire.h, and we have our library, which is liquid crystal A2C.h. So first of all, we have our liquid crystal LCD, which creates an LCD object with the 0 times 27, which is the address of the LCD, and we have 16 and 2, which means the 16 columns and 2 rows. Next, we have our input here, our variable. We have our float input volt, which is 0.0. This input volt stores the final voltage reading. And we have our float temp, which is the temporary variable for the calculations. And we have our R1, and we have our R2. These are the resistor values in a voltage divider circuit. So it is used to scale down a higher voltages. And next, we have our voice setup. We already have a setup here. So we have our serial begin, which is 9600. So it will start a serial communication at this rate. And we have our LCD backlight, which is enable the backlight of the LCD. We have our LCD begin. This LCD begin, it will initialize the LCD display, which we have our 16 columns and 2 rows. For the LCD print, which is print before the voltages, we have our DC digit voltmeter. And we also have our delay, which waits 2 seconds before the proceeding. And we have our LCD clear, so it clears the screen after the message. Right after that, we have a loop here, and it will show you our void loop. We have our end analog value, analog grid, and our analog pin, which is A0. So it will read the analog voltage from the pin A0. And next, so we have our calculations, the formula. So it will we have here converting the analog reading to voltage, and our temporary here. So it will converts the raw analog value 0 to 1023 into a voltage which we have 0 to 5 volts, the formula 1. So we have a formula 2, this one. Since the voltage divider is used, this formula calculates the actual voltage, which we have the 5.0. So right after that, we have our if loop. So if the voltage is less than 0.1 volts, so it is considered noise and set to 0 volts. 0 volts. So after that, we have our print and print in. So it will display the voltage in serial monitor. Example like voltage equals to something. So for example, voltage is equals to 0 point or 3 point something. Now we have right here LCD set cursor, print, set cursor, and print. So this is the value. Set the cursor, moves cursor to the first row, and we have our second cursor, moves cursor second row, first column. So it will print this voltage equals, and the input, the calculated voltage here, from here into here, and will print on the LCD. So we have our delay before taking another read. So this program reads the voltage from 0 A0 pin A0, and it will convert it using a voltage divider and displays the result on an LCD screen and serial monitor. So that's all for the making of voltmeter. So thank you.